Okay. So on the other day, I was teaching about strings, right? So Sharda garu, did you understood this? Like, what is length of the string? What is caret?
Sureka?
What is length of the string means?
Length of the string means like you have to keep one name inside the quotations. Huh? Then,
కాదు అది స్ట్రింగ్ అంటే మామూలుగా లెంత్ ఆఫ్ ద ఇప్పుడు ప్రవళిక అనే స్ట్రింగ్కి లెంత్ అంటే ఎంత వస్తుంది మనకు అవుట్పుట్ ఎలా క్యాలిక్యులేట్ చేస్తుంది?
okay. Like how many alphabets you are using in the name?
కదా. సో గ్రూప్ ఆఫ్ క్యారెక్టర్స్ మోర్ దాన్ వన్ క్యారెక్టర్ ఉంటే we have to give it in the double quotes and we have to put it under string data type. And if you want to identify how many characters are there in that string, then you have to use the length method.
Okay.
And if I want to identify at any particular position, if I want to identify what is the character that is present, then I have to use caret function. సో స్ట్రింగ్లో ఇండెక్స్ అనేది జీరో నుండి స్టార్ట్ అయింది. ద ఇండెక్స్ స్టార్ట్స్ ఫ్రమ్ జీరో ఇన్ ద స్ట్రింగ్. So at the fourth position you will have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. You will have A. And substring means if you want some part of the string, ఈ స్ట్రింగ్ మొత్తంలో ఏదైనా కొంచెం పార్ట్ మనం ప్రింట్ చేయాలి అనుకుంటే, చూడాలి అనుకుంటే, then you have to use substring method to get some part of the string. So here it starts with 0. As the string starts with 0, if I want to print until pra, then I'm giving 0 comma 3. But if I want to print in between like 5 comma 8, it will print me the characters between 5 comma 8 lli. So whatever substring part that I want to give, I have to give the starting index and the ending index of it. And if I want to check whether it is starting with any particular substring, then I have to use substring method. Sorry, starts with method to check whether it is starting with any particular string substring or not. So this will have starts with will give you either true or false. So now if I'm giving some random characters and I'm asking it to check with the str string. The str string is holding Pravalika and I'm asking it to check with whether it is starting with 4 rows or not. So it's not matching. That's why it is returning false. In the similar way, you will have ends with as well. Ik, if I'm testing this, it will give me true. And if I'm giving, it is case sensitive as well. If I give capital I, then it says it's false. In the similar way, it is also having one more method called as contains method. So I'm just asking it to check whether this entire string is having any of the combination as AVA. So now what will happen in this entire string, it will check whether it is having AVA or not at any part of the string. It is having, so it will give me the true value. And if it is not having, it will give me false. So this contains means you can check either from the starting, it will check throughout the string. It is not checking from the starting or from the end. In any of the combination, if you are finding this, then it will give you in an order. Like APA should be present in the string. at any point of time consecutively. So in that case, it will give you true or false. And if I'm having one more string, str1 equal to, again let's give Pravalika. So now if I want to check whether these two strings are equal or not, then you have to use dot equals method. Str dot equals str1. So the return type of this dot equals method is a boolean. So if you're just hovering the mouse, you will come to know what is the return type of that method. So it is saying it is returning a boolean variable. That means it will give you either it is a true or false. So I'm just storing that answer, whatever the answer that is returned by dot equals method, I'm storing it in a variable b. So now it will compare these both the strings. As every character is same, you will get the output as true. But if I'm giving it in all caps, then it will give me false. But if I want to ignore the capitals or small letters, if I want to ignore the case of it, then I have to use the method called as equals ignore case. Ignore case will not compare whether it is a capital letter or small letter, but it will just check whether these both the characters are same or not. So that's why you got true in this case. So in equals, it will check the case as well, whereas in equals ignore case, it won't check the case. And there is also one more way to compare whether these both the strings are equal or not. str1 equal str2. So now it is trying to compare these both the strings, but by using double equals method. I'll show you what is the difference. See, now you got true only, because it is what will happen at the back is, I'll draw a diagram. The paint on the so in the computer memory, what will happen is, when I'm giving the value, I'm storing Pravalika in the keyword str, then what will happen is, it will store Pravalika in a block, and the variable assigned to this will be b. And again, whenever it is finding that one more variable is also the same value is being assigned with a new value, then what it will do, then again it will try to, it won't create one more memory, it will just allocate the string value to this str and to this str1 as well. Means it is giving the same memory block to both to str variable and str1 variable, because the value is same. Okay, this is called a string constant pool. You have to remember the term string constant pool. So what string constant pool does is, So whenever the values are same, instead of creating a new memory block, it will only allocate this variable names to that block. So even if you call str, it will call Pravalika. Even if you call str1, then also it will call Pravalika, without wasting the memory. Now, as I mentioned that string is a class, if I'm trying to do, I'm storing string str2 equal to, I can create an object for the class, right? So when I'm giving new keyword, what will happen? The memory will be created newly to it. So the main difference between dot equals and double equals method is the equals method will compare the values directly. It will just check whether Pravalika is matching with Pravalika or not. Whereas the double equals method will check the address of the values. That means each and every block in Java, every memory block in Java will have some address to it. For suppose, let me take an example like this str and str1 is holding a memory address of 1001. Okay, and as soon as I have created a new variable by creating that object, what will happen? The object will create a new memory block for me whenever I'm using the new keyword. So now the address of this will become 1002, and this is also holding the value Pravalika only. But what is happening? This the block is assigned with the variable as str2 here. So whenever you are creating an object, instead of storing this value in the same memory block, instead of just putting str2 here, what it will do, it will create one more memory block and then it will give that value to it. So what will happen is when you are using double equals method, it will compare whether 1001 is matching with 1002 or not. As these both are different, it will give you the false. And whereas when you are using dot equals method, what it will compare? It will compare whether Pravalika is matching with Pravalika or not. Whether these strings are matching or not. అర్థమైందా శారదా గారు మీకు?
లేదు సూర్యకి ఇది కొంచెం టఫ్ ఉంది.
For you, Naushin, did you understood that?
Yeah, but what if like you're saying no same memory will be allocated? How to consider, like, how it will recognize it's capital or something like that?
If it is capital, then it will give you another memory block. If these both are having same case and just the variables are different, if these both values are same, then it will give you one single block in single memory block.
Got it. Yeah.
But if it is having a new keyword, so when for example if I run this code, let me remove all this.
Yeah, when objects is created, it will allocate a new memory for it. Allocate the new memory
it
for
will
it.
give a new memory to it. So నేను మీకు చెప్తా. ఇప్పుడు చూడండి, I have taken str one variable which is where I have allocated the value directly, whereas for str2 variable I have created the object for the string class. So object create చేయాలంటే formula ఏంటి? Class variable equal to new class name, and within the bracket I am sending you the string of it. Okay, so now when I'm trying to compare str with str2, okay, then what will happen? Equals will give you true, whereas double equals will give you false. Equals method is returning you true and double equals is returning false. Why is this? Because even though all these values are same, this Pravalika is same and this Pravalika is same, but the memory allocation is different. So for str1 str and str1, as these values are matching, it will directly allocate these variables to 1001 memory. Whereas when you're using the new keyword, whenever you're creating an object, a new memory block will be created and you're storing that value separately. So when I'm using double equals method, equals method, then it will compare whether these both address of the values are same or not.
Okay.
Whereas in equals method, it will check whether the values are matching or not.
Yeah.
ఇప్పుడు మీకు చెప్తాను చూడండి సార్ దగ్గర. ఇప్పుడు ఏమైందంటే మనం 2 వేరియబుల్స్ తీసుకున్నాం, STR1 STR2 అని. ఓకే, ఆ STRలోనూ ప్రవళిక అనే స్టోర్ చేసాము. ఆబ్జెక్ట్ క్రియేట్ చేసినప్పుడు కూడా మనం ప్రవళిక అనే స్టోర్ చేసాము. కానీ న్యూ కీవర్డ్ ఏం చేస్తుందంట, ఎప్పుడైనా సరే ఒక కొత్త బ్లాక్ ఆఫ్ మెమరీ ఇస్తుందంట ఈ వాల్యూకి. మనం ఎప్పుడైనా ఆబ్జెక్ట్ క్రియేట్ చేసినా కూడా కంప్యూటర్ ఏం చేస్తుంది, ఆ పర్టికులర్ క్లాస్కి ఒక మెమరీ బ్లాక్ని క్రియేట్ చేస్తుంది ఆబ్జెక్ట్ క్రియేట్ చేసినప్పుడు. సో మామూలుగా అయితే జావా ఎలా పనిచేస్తుంది, ఇప్పుడు నా దగ్గర ఇంకో 10 టైమ్స్ నేను STR1 ఈక్వల్ టు ప్రవళిక అని ఇచ్చిన, అది అప్పుడు ఏం చేసుకునిద్దంటే ప్రతిసారి ఒక బ్లాక్ క్రియేట్ చేయకుండా సేమ్ వాల్యూస్ ఉన్నాయి అనుకోండి. ఇప్పుడు STRలోనూ తిని పేరే ఉంది, STR1లోనూ ఇదే ఉంది. సో ప్రతిసారి నేను STRకి ఒక 1001, STR1కి ఇంకో 1002 అలా బ్లాక్ ఇవ్వకుండా దీన్ని స్ట్రింగ్ కాన్స్టెంట్ పూల్ అంటారనమాట. అంటే సేమ్ టైప్ ఆఫ్ వాల్యూస్ ఉన్నప్పుడు మన కాన్స్టెంట్ పూల్లో అసైన్ చేస్తూ ఉంటాం వాల్యూస్ని. సో ఇప్పుడు ప్రవళిక అన్నా నాకు STRనే నేను రిఫర్ చేస్తాను, STR1 అన్నా సేమ్ వాల్యూని రిఫర్ చేస్తాను. కానీ నేను ఎప్పుడైతే న్యూ కీవర్డ్ వాడి నేను మెమరీ బ్లాక్ కొత్త క్రియేట్ చేశానో దానికి ఆ వాల్యూ అనేది వేరే బ్లాక్లోకి వెళ్ళి స్టోర్ అవుతుంది, దానికంటూ ఒక అడ్రస్ ఉంటుంది. సో ఇప్పుడు డబుల్ ఈక్వల్స్ మెథడ్, ఈ 2 ఈక్వల్ టుస్ ఉన్నాయా, ఇదేం చేస్తుందంటే ఆ 1001 ఈ 1002 మ్యాచింగ్గా కాదా చూస్తుంది. అదే ఈక్వల్స్ మెథడ్, డాట్ ఈక్వల్స్ మెథడ్ ఏమో ఈ వాల్యూ ఈ 2 సమానంగా ఉన్నాయా లేదా చూస్తుంది. కొంచెమైనా అర్థమైంది మీకు?
అర్థమైంది స్వరూప.
అర్థమైందా?
ఇప్పుడు కొంచెం
ఒక్కసారి ప్రాక్టీస్ చేయండి, మీకు అప్పుడు అది అర్థం అవుతుంది.
షూర్ షూర్.
సో ఇంటర్వ్యూలో అడిగినా కూడా ఏమని చెప్పాలి, ఇఫ్ డాట్ ఈక్వల్, వాట్ ఈస్ ద డిఫరెన్స్ బిట్వీన్ డాట్ ఈక్వల్స్ అండ్ డబుల్ ఈక్వల్స్ మీన్స్ dot equals will compare the values directly, whereas double equals will compare the address of those variables. Okay, ఇది ఇంకా ఇంకొక మెథడ్ చూద్దాం, str.replace. సో రీప్లేస్ అంటే ఏం చేస్తుంది, ఇప్పుడు ఈ పేరు మొత్తంలో నాకు పీ ఉన్న చోటల్లా నేను టీ చేయాలనుకుంటున్నాను అనుకోండి, అప్పుడు నేను రీప్లేస్ మెథడ్ వాడాలి. సారీ, if I want to replace any particular character throughout the string, or else if I want to replace A with E, then I have to give A, what the character which I want to replace, and what is the character which I'm going to replace it with. So now Pravalika has become Pravaliki. In the place of A, you're just giving E. Okay, and so like this, there are many methods in string class. You can just do some exploration on it. Then today I'll teach you arrays. So ఇప్పటి నుండి మనం in today's class we will discuss more about memory allocations, like remember that every code, whatever you're writing, will have a memory to it, and the memory is allocated in the form of cells. So this is one memory cell, this is one memory cell. So in Java, there is something called as arrays. Arrays means for suppose if you're having 10 people in the class, like 1 to 10, those are their student IDs. So instead of every time giving int a equal to 1, int like student 1 equal to 1, student 2 equal to 2, instead of giving every time the declarations and variable allocations to it, what I can do is whenever there is similar things that I can store, similar data type strings that I can store, then I can go for arrays. So int array means storing characters, like group of things in the same memory block. Arr equal to, I'll just give the values 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. So in arrays, you have to give in the curly braces. Whatever the values that you want to give, you have to give them in the curly braces separated by comma. And the declaration is like data type and rectangle brackets, open and close. So now what will happen whenever you are giving int array, this memory block will be divided into 10 blocks. Okay, list. So what will happen is, whatever the value that we are storing, it will be divided into 10 blocks in the same memory allocation, in the same memory cell. It will just divide into how many values that we have given here. Based on that, it will divide into those number of cells. So here I have given 10 values, right? So then what will happen is the memory block is splitted into 10 cells, and each cell will store one value. So one will be stored in one cell, 2 3 4 5, like that. And remember that everything, any index in Java starts with 0. So in array also the index starts with 0. So if I am trying to print the value array of 0, that means it is trying to consider the value at the 0th index. So now it will give me 1 as my output. And if I want to print the 9th value, that means it will give me 10, because 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. So the value at the 10th position, 9th position is 10. And the length of the string, like similar to the length of the string, you are having the length of the array as well. So arr dot length. But the difference is, in string length method, you will give open and close braces, which is a method. This length is a method in the string, and here it's just a variable. Okay. The syntax difference between string length and array length is, array length will not have braces, whereas string length will have the braces. ప్రవళి నువ్వు వచ్చేసావా జిమ్ నుండి?
వచ్చామా?
అర్థమవుతుందా నీకు?
అర్థమవుతుంది.
Okay. And did you understood this memory block, like where it starts with 0 and it each cell is divided into subcells whenever you are declaring it is an array. So all these 10 values will have same address, but when you're calling with the index, that particular value will respond. So if I'm calling array of 4, then I'll get the output as 5. These whatever the values that I'm giving here is nothing but the the index values. Let me take a table. Now take an example that we are having an integer array which is holding some random values like 300, 400, 500, 600, 700, 800, 900, 100, 200, and 1000. So all these are integers only. So instead of giving, if I want to store them in an array in the same memory block, then the declaration is data type, 2 rectangle brackets open and close, and array any of the variable name equal to, within the curly braces you need to specify all the values separated by comma. So now what will happen, as soon as I have written this, the memory block will be created which is holding some address. Some address is there to this memory block, and this memory block is divided into subcells. So as there are 10 variables in it, 10 numbers in it, it is divided into 10 blocks, and each block will have an index. So whenever I call 0, the value within the 0 will be printed as my output. So now each value in this array will be allocated in one of the cell. So 300 in one cell, 400 in one cell, like that. So whatever the values we are having in array is given one memory allocation in each cell. So now if I want to call 900, then what I have to do? I have to call it with the help of my index. So what is the index value that 900 is having? 6. So array of 6 will give me the output as 900. Did you guys understood? శారదా గారు అర్థమైందండి?
Yeah, sir.
Sureka.
సో ఇప్పుడు the thing array is called as static memory allocation. Means that we can't declare the memory, we can't increase the memory at runtime. అంటే ఇప్పుడు నేను ఒకవేళ ఇక్కడ 10 రాస్తాను కదా, I have given to these 10 variables 10 numbers, and if I want to store int 11th variable in it, like array of 11 equal to 1, 2, 3. If I'm storing some integer in it, then I will get array index out of bound exception. So it is throwing me one error saying that it is index out of bound, because the indexes are stored only until 10, because we are declaring that our array is having size of 10 by giving the 10 variables. So whenever I want to increase the memory at runtime, that is not possible in arrays. But how to achieve that we will see in with other concepts. So but you have to remember that array is having a fixed memory. So whenever you are declaring the values, how much length you have given, that array can manipulate only within that. You can't add a new element to it. So what it is saying, index 11. So index 11 is out of bounds for the length 10. This array is having overall length as 10, but I am trying to put the 11th element to it, which is not possible. Okay. And if I want to change the values at any point of time, so ARR of 4 will have the value as 5. Now if I want to change it, ARR of 4 equal to some number, that can be possible. So originally the value that I have stored was 5, but after manipulation the value became 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 at this index. So if I want to change the existing values, that is possible, but if I want to add a new value to it, it is not possible. And if I want to print the every element in the array, then that is not possible by directly giving ARR. Previously, if I want to print an integer, I'll just print the variable out of it. If ARR is there, then I'll just give ARR and it will print me. But whereas whenever I'm trying to print the array, here you can see that it has given me some random characters. This is nothing but the address of that memory allocation. So all this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 are stored in a memory block, right? So it is printing out that memory block address value. So if you want to access every element in the array, if you want to print the every element in array, it is not directly possible by using println statement. You have to use for loop. So for, I want to start from the starting of this array. So for int I equal to 0, because index starts from 0th value, and I have to iterate till the length of the string, length of the array. So I less than or equal, I less than ARR dot length, I plus plus. So why I'm not giving less than or equal to is because if I give equal to, then the length is, originally it will count values and the length of the string is 10, but my indexes are stored, as my index starts with 0, my last index is 9. So whenever if I am giving equal to as the 10th condition, like AR, the length will be 10 and 10th is also satisfied, if I'm trying to print ARR of 10 is not present in this array, so now I'll get array index out of bound exception if I'm giving equal to. If I want to just print all the values without any error, then I have to give less than length. So now you can see that it is printing every value in the array. Here the value is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 because before printing this array I have manipulated the value.
So, Surika, the index is 9, but the length is 10. Am I right?
Yeah, yes. Because it is storing with starting from 0.
Yeah.
By when you count, these are 10 values. So if I want to print the length of the array, it will give me the output as 10 only.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. When you call it as a length, it is called like how many digits, I mean, how many are there that way. But if you tell that it is an index, if you put like ARR dot index, then we can put I less than or equal to.
Now, as the memory allocation, if you see, it starts from 0, 0, 1, 2, 3 till 9. If I'm trying to call ARR of 10, then that is not present in this block, no?
అవును
అందుకని నీకు ఎర్రర్ వస్తుంది, ఎరే ఇండెక్స్ అవుట్ ఆఫ్ బౌండ్ వస్తుంది, ఎందుకంటే 10th వాల్యూ లేదు.
అవును ఏఆర్ఆర్ డాట్ లెంత్ అని ఇచ్చాం కదా, అంటే ఏఆర్ఆర్ డాట్ ఇండెక్స్ అనేది కూడా ఉంటుందా?
ఉండదు
ఉండదు. వీల్ జస్ట్ నేమ్ ఇట్ లైక్ ఇట్ ఈస్ అన్ ఇండెక్స్, బట్ దట్ టర్మ్ ఇస్ నాట్ దేర్.
యూ కాంట్ లైక్ ఇండెక్స్ అంటే నీకు జస్ట్ ఇప్పుడు ఐడి ఎలాగా మనకి అలా ఎరేకి టర్మినాలజీ ఇండెక్స్ అనమాట.
అవునవును, ఇట్ స్టోర్స్ లైక్ దట్ అని మనం తెలుసుకోవడానికి.
ప్రతి దానికి ఒక్కొక్క వాల్యూ ఉంటుంది, దాని యొక్క ఐడి 1, ఐడి 2, ఐడి 3 అలాగా.
ఓకే ఓకే.
నీకు లెంత్ 10 వస్తుంది, కానీ నువ్వు యాక్సెస్ చేసేటప్పుడు 10th ఎలిమెంట్ లాగా ఏది స్టోరే లేదు. లైక్ ఏఆర్ఆర్ ఆఫ్ 10 ఇస్ నాట్ ప్రెసెంట్ ఇన్ యువర్ ఎరే
బికాస్ ద ఇండెక్స్ ఇస్ స్టార్టింగ్ ఫ్రమ్ 0.
Yeah. So if you want to print the elements in an array, then you have to use any of the loop. So here the easiest loop is for loop, because we know the end position, that it should end at the last letter of the last value of the array. So I want to print every value. As my index starts from 0, I'm giving int I equal to 0. I'm validating it until the last length of the array, and then I'm performing an increment decrement operation. If I want to print the same array from in the reverse order, like here it is printing 1 to 10, right? Now I want to print it in the reverse order, then what manipulation should we do in this for loop? Can anyone say?
So we'll do the same, I equal to 10.
10 కాదు కదా, now you don't know, like
9
not 9 అయినా ఇవ్వచ్చు డైరెక్ట్గా. ఇన్స్టెడ్ ఆఫ్ దట్ యూ కెన్ జస్ట్ కాల్ దిస్ లెంత్ మెథడ్ కదా,
i is equals to ar dot length. Again next I less than, sorry,
ఏం చెక్ చేస్తావు?
wait ఇప్పుడు నువ్వేం చెప్పావు? సరే మళ్ళీ మర్చిపోయాను.
రివర్స్ ఆర్డర్లో రావాలి, లైక్ 10 9 8
రివర్స్
7
లో
6
రావాలి. అయితే ఐ ఈజ్ ఈక్వల్ టు 0 అని రావాలి ఇప్పుడు. నెక్స్ట్ మరి 0 వరకు రావాలి కదా,
కండిషన్ పెట్టాలి కదా మనం. ఇక్కడ i మైనస్ మైనస్ దట్ ఈస్ ఫైన్, బట్ వాట్ ఈస్ ద కండిషన్? ఇక్కడ మనం ఏం పెట్టాలి? ఇప్పుడు అంతే సింపుల్ గా చూడు, ఇప్పుడు 10 ఉంది,
0కి రావాలి. సో
0 వరకు చెక్.
ఐ అనేది అంటే పై నుంచి కిందకి రావాలి. సో ఐ గ్రేటర్ దాన్ ఆర్ ఈక్వల్ టు 0.
అంతే, ఐ గ్రేటర్ దాన్ ఆర్ ఈక్వల్ టు 0. అదెందుకు? వై ఆర్ వి గివింగ్ ఈక్వల్ టు హియర్?
టిల్ ద ఫస్ట్ పొజిషన్ వి వాంట్ కదా,
బట్ వీ వాంట్ టు స్టార్ట్ ఇట్ ఫ్రమ్ ద లెంత్, అంటే ఇట్ విల్ గివ్ యూ 10, బట్ మై ఇండెక్స్ ఇస్ స్టిల్ ఓన్లీ 9, right? So I have to perform arr dot length minus 1, I greater than or equal to 0. If I'm not giving equal to 0, then my 0th index is not considered. So in that case it will print only till 2.
ఓకే.
ఇప్పుడు మనం ఒకవేళ ఇక్కడ మనం గ్రేటర్ దాన్ వరకే పెట్టామనుకో, ఇప్పుడు వెన్ array ఆఫ్ 1 వచ్చిందనుకో, array of 0 వచ్చిందనుకో, 0 is not greater than 0. The condition is not satisfied. So it is not going into the loop and it is not printing the value.
Yeah, the first value will not get printed, right?
Yeah. So while starting, like if you are doing it in a reverse operation, you have to make sure that you are starting from length minus 1. As the index is starting from 0, you have to give length minus 1. That means 10 minus 1 is 9. So from the 9th index, it will go and print until 0th index. So first ఏమైంది, int I equal to arr dot length minus 1 means the overall length is 10, 10 minus 1 is 9. 9 is greater than 0, the condition is satisfied. So it came into the loop and it printed the value at 9th position. Then what happened? I minus minus happened. That means 9 minus 1. That means 8. 8 is also greater than 0, the condition is satisfied, and the value at the 8th index is printed. Like that, it iterates till 1. So whenever the index is 0, 0 is equal to 0. This condition is satisfied. So that's why it is printing ARR of 0 as well. If I'm not giving equal to, then what happens whenever the position in that length, when the position is 0, this condition is not satisfied. So that's why it is not going into this println statement. It is not being printed. You won't get any error. It's just that you are not able to print the first element of the array. Did you guys understood? శారదా గారు అర్థమైందండి అది?
ఓకే సురేఖ, కానీ కొంచెం ప్రాక్టీస్ చేయాలి.
మీకు ముందు ఎరే అంటే ఏంటో అర్థమైందా? ఎరే అంటే చెప్పండి మీకు.
ఫిక్స్డ్ మెమరీయా?
ఫిక్స్డ్ మెమరీ ఉంటుంది. ఇంకా ఒక బ్లాక్ ఏం చేస్తుంది అది?
అర్థం కాల ఏంటి?
ఇప్పుడు ఎరే అనేది ఒక బ్లాక్ ఆఫ్ మెమరీ కదా. సో ఆ బ్లాక్ నాది ఏం చేసుకుంటుంది?
సో అది ఒక బ్లాక్ అంటే దాంట్లో 0 to 9 అంతే కదా నెంబర్ స్టోర్ అవుతాయి. సో
ఒక బ్లాక్ని ఫస్ట్ అది ఏం చేస్తుంది అంటే డివైడ్ చేసుకుంటుంది. ఎన్ని
Divide
సెల్స్గా డివైడ్ చేసుకుంటుంది? మనం ఎన్ని వాల్యూస్ ఇచ్చామో ఆ లెంత్ అన్ని సెల్స్ క్రియేట్ చేసుకుంటుంది అనమాట. ఇప్పుడు నేను 10 వాల్యూస్ ఇచ్చాను కాబట్టి నాకు 10 సెల్స్ క్రియేట్ చేసింది. కానీ ఇండెక్స్ అంటే జస్ట్ స్టార్టింగ్ వాల్యూ మాత్రం 0 నుండి పెట్టుకోవాలి. సో 0 ఒక్కొక్క సెల్కి ఇంక్రిమెంట్ 0 నుండి లాస్ట్ దాని వరకు ఇంక్రీజ్ అయ్యి ఉంటుంది అనమాట ఇండెక్స్. అండ్ ప్రతి సెల్లో ఒకే ఒక వాల్యూ పెట్టగలను. ఇందులోనే నాకు 200 మళ్ళీ ఉండదు. ఒక సెల్లో ఒక వాల్యూయే ఉంటుంది. ఇప్పుడు నేను ARR of 4 అని కాల్ చేశాను అనుకోండి, అప్పుడు 4th ఇండెక్స్ ప్లేస్ బ్లాక్లో ఏమైతే వాల్యూ ఉందో ఆ వాల్యూ నాకు వస్తుంది.
సురేఖ, ఎరేకి ఏమైనా లిమిట్ ఉందా? అంటే ఇప్పుడు లైక్ ఒక 100 ఎలిమెంట్స్ స్టోర్ చేయగలం.
అలా ఏం లేదు. యూ కెన్ గివ్ ఎనీ నెంబర్. సో దానికి ఇంకో వే, లైక్ ఇప్పుడు నేను 100 వాల్యూస్ ఇక్కడే డైరెక్ట్గా ఇవ్వలేను కదా. ఐ కాంట్ జస్ట్ గివ్ 100 వాల్యూస్ హియర్ డైరెక్ట్లీ. సో ఇఫ్ ఐ వాంట్ టు డిక్లేర్ an array with the length of the array being 100, that I can do new int of 100. ఇలా ఇవ్వచ్చు. Now what I'm doing is I'm just saying that I'm having an integer array and its maximum memory is 100, but I cannot store 1 or 2 values in it. Its maximum capacity is 100. So I'm fixing the memory for this array. So as soon as I'm fixing the memory, it will create a block and it will divide it into 100 subcells. And each subcell will have an index starting from 0 to 99.
ఓకే సురేఖ.
Naushin, did you understood?
Yeah, I got it.
So ఇప్పుడు మనం now we'll try by giving the values in the form of this one as well. Now if I want, now this ARR1 is an empty array. Okay. So if I'm printing this, it will give you 100 even though the array is empty. There are no values stored in it. But what happened? The array 1 the block has been divided into 100 cells, and the memory is also it is divided into 100 subcells. So the length you are getting as 100. Whether it is empty or not, that doesn't matter. But you have created a block and you are dividing it into 100 sub blocks as soon as you declare it with a particular length. Now if I want to assign a value to it, what I can do is for int I want to allocate even numbers to it. Int I equal to 0, I less than arr1 dot length I plus plus. So instead of giving every time arr1 of 1 equal to 2, arr of 2 equal to 4, instead of that, what I can do, I have created a for loop which is iterating throughout the length of the array. And here arr1 of I equal to I plus initially it starts with 0. If I want to store odd numbers, that will be easy for us. So if I want to store the odd numbers, I plus 1 I'll do. Okay. Again, if I want to print the values, I have to use the for loop only. In the first for loop, I'm trying to assign the values to the array, and in the second for loop, I'm trying to print the values, whatever that is being stored.
Like you can't write system println in that same for loop. Huh?
That also I can do. In the same for loop also I can print. In the other for loop, like if I want to first allocate the memory, like allocate all the values, and then if I want to print the complete array, that also I can do. Okay. Then so there are two
సుధా
declarations.
మరి 2 ఫర్ లూప్స్ కావాలన్నావు కదా, మరి ఒక ఫర్ లూప్ తోనే ఎలా ప్రింట్ చేయగలిగాం?
ఇప్పుడు మనం ఏం చేసాము, ఇక్కడ వాల్యూ అసైన్ చేసేసి వెంటనే దాన్ని ప్రింట్ చేసేస్తున్నాను. ద సేమ్ యాక్షన్ ఈస్ బీయింగ్ పర్ఫార్మ్డ్. ఇప్పుడు ఇక్కడ ఏమైంది, ఐ హ్యావ్ స్టార్టెడ్ ఫ్రమ్ ద 0th ఇండెక్స్ అండ్ ఐఎమ్ ఇటరేటింగ్ టిల్ ద లెంత్ ఆఫ్ ద array and I'm giving the value. As soon as I gave the value, I'm printing here. Before, what I did was, first I have allocated the 100 values to it. Completely I have allocated all the values to it, and then I have just given one more for loop to just print.
ఓకే,
రెండు యాక్షన్స్ సేమే, కానీ ఏంటంటే నువ్వు ఫస్ట్ మొత్తం వాల్యూస్ అని అలొకేట్ చేసి నెక్స్ట్ ప్రింట్ చేశాను.
ఓకే ఓకే.
ఇందాకేమో అసైన్ చేయగానే ప్రింట్ చేస్తాను వాల్యూని.
ఓకే ఓకే, సేమ్ ఫర్ లూపే ఉంది. సో అసైన్ చేయడం కోసం మళ్ళీ వేరేగా, ప్రింట్ కి వేరేగా రెండు ఫర్ లూప్స్ చేసాం. బట్
సేమ్
ఫర్ లూప్ లో కూడా
ప్రింట్ చేసేయచ్చు. జస్ట్ అసైన్ అయిపోయింది. ఇప్పుడు నేను ఇక్కడ 0 ఉంది, 0 + 1 1 అయిపోయింది, 1 వచ్చి దీనిలో స్టోర్ అయిపోయింది. స్టోర్ అయిపోగానే కూడా ప్రింట్ చేసుకోవచ్చు, ఎలా అయినా చేసుకోవచ్చు.
అవునవును, అలా అయితే మరి అలాగే బెటర్ కదా. ఇలా అయితే మళ్ళీ రెండు ఫర్ లూప్స్ కదా.
అలానే బెటర్. కానీ నీకేంటంటే అసైన్మెంట్ అంతా అయిపోయిన తర్వాత మనం చేసాము అని చెప్పుకోవడానికి. బట్ వెన్ కంపేర్ టు ద పర్ఫార్మెన్స్ చూసినప్పుడు మాత్రం యూ షుడ్ ఆల్వేస్ చెక్ లైక్ యూ ఆర్ మినిమైజింగ్ ద నెంబర్ ఆఫ్ ఫర్ లూప్స్, మినిమైజింగ్ యువర్ కోడ్, మినిమైజింగ్ యువర్ ఫర్ లూప్స్. అంటే రిపిటేటివ్ యాక్షన్స్ ఏంటి, ఎక్కువ మెమరీ తీసేసుకుంటాయి. సో వాటిని మనం తగ్గించుకోవాలి.
ఓకే.
అండ్ ఇవాళ లిస్ట్ చెప్తాను అరేస్ దిస్ వన్. Then I'll say some theory today to you. Okay. This 8 minutes, within that 8 minutes, whatever is being completed, I'll complete that. So there is something called as OOPS concepts in Java. So OOPS means object-oriented programming concepts. So object-oriented programming means it is having some subtopics like 5 different types: abstraction, interface, inheritance. Not only Java, even Python, C Sharp, every other programming language is also having OOPS concepts in it. The concept is same, but the implementation and the syntax is different. That's all. But the concept, whatever it is trying to explain to you, that will be similar in any programming language. So abstraction, interface, inheritance, polymorphism, and encapsulation. So today we will see the theory, and tomorrow onwards we will implement each and every part of this. So abstraction means showing only the required functionality and hiding its implementation part. So now let us take the example of a ATM. So if you go to the ATM, you will see a screen where you're having different operations that needs to be performed, like withdrawing your cash, depositing your cash, or just checking your bank balance. But you don't know how it is being implemented, what is the code written behind it. You don't know what is that. And whatever is required, whenever you're pressing about the cash deposit, only the information regarding the cash deposit is shown to you. All the other information is hidden. So whatever the functionality that is required, without showing you the code, if you are able to perform that functionality, then you are saying that abstraction concept is followed while developing. Abstraction means you are showing only what is required for the user doesn't need to know like how it is implemented, and you're securing your code. So that is called as abstraction. And okay, and then I'll say you about encapsulation. Encapsulation means binding of data members and data functions together in a single module. So now we will see its implementation part. Okay, okay, I'll give you the definitions tomorrow. I'll show you the implementation part because there's only 2 minutes. Interface means it will have only the method definitions, and implementation is present in separate class, another class. So what he's trying to say, method definitions means you're just declaring, I'll declare one interface, and in that interface I'm saying that I'm having addition method, subtraction method, division method, multiplication method. I'm just saying, declaring that, like public int addition, public int subtraction. I'm just defining it, but I'm not putting the code in that same interface. The code is written in a separate class. In that cases we call it as an interface concept. And inheritance means extending of parent class properties into child class properties. So how in our natural life as well, so inheritance means what we will do, you will have your own qualities, but you will also have the qualities given by your parents. In the same way, inheritance, the child class will have its own operations, and it can also access its parent class operations as well. If in that parent class I am having two methods, addition and subtraction, and in the child class I am having two methods, multiplication and division, then my child class can perform addition, subtraction, multiplication and division, because I'm embedding the qualities of my parents as well. So that is called as inheritance. And in polymorphism, you are having two types, method overloading and method overriding, that we will see these implementations from tomorrow. So what you guys have to do today is create this array I have discussed about array which is of integer type, right? So I have declared int arr equal to 1 2 3 4. But now I want you guys to do the string array. Cut అయిపోయింది.